Have you ever thought something and you didn't listen to what your gut feeling was and that something came true? And if you would have listened to it, you would have been okay? Today's episode is a very serious subject. I'm going to talk about getting a second opinion and what your gut feeling is giving you. I just want to tell you a quick story. It's a life or death story, and it's how listening to my gut instinct actually saved my life. So I was feeling a little bit under the weather, actually, a lot under the weather. I was very faint, and from the female perspective, I'm just going to say I was not feeling all that great. I thought, "Oh my gosh, I'm old. I'm getting old anyway. I'm probably gonna go through menopause, or I am going through menopause." I asked around to some of my friends. I said, "Hey, so what are some of the symptoms of menopause?" They say, "Oh, well, you're gonna get moody, you're gonna gain weight, or you're gonna lose weight, or you're gonna be crying all the time, or maybe you're gonna be bleeding all the time." I thought, well, that's it. I'm obviously premenopausal. So this goes on for quite some time. I'm not feeling any of those things. I'm not feeling moody. I'm not feeling sad. I'm not feeling happy, particularly. After listening to all my friends, I thought, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm very weak. I'm very tired. I was literally laying on my couch, and the bathroom is what, 20 feet away? And I wouldn't get up to go into the bathroom because I would be, number one, so out of breath. It was like I ran upstairs and I just couldn't catch my breath. Not only that, then I would get this intense headache, and it resonated in the back of the head. I just didn't feel like going into the bathroom. I didn't feel like going into the kitchen. I didn't feel like doing anything. So finally, I thought something has got to give because there's something not right. So what do? I call my doctor, a female doctor, OBGYN. I say, hey, I'm having these symptoms. I'm having the blood loss. I'm having this headaches. I'm out of breath, exhausted. Just wondering if you can see me. She says, sure. You can come in later today. So I drive there, which was a feat in itself, and I have to walk upstairs, which is a feat, a big time feat. Walking upstairs, I am so winded by the time I get to the top. Sit in the waiting room, catch my breath, everything's okay. I go back, I see her, and she says to me this. She says, well, you're really not bleeding all that bad. And I thought, huh, okay. So she says, I'll see you on Monday or Tuesday. Well, it's Monday or Tuesday. So she's basically saying, I'll see you next week. That didn't really sit right with me. But I thought she's a professional. She told me she'll see me next week and it's not all that bad. So what do? I stop, I buy this can of air because I'm thinking, well, I just need some oxygen because obviously I'm having a problem. I'm becoming anemic. Anemia is when you have a loss of blood or basically your blood cells are leaving your body in some form or fashion. You become anemic. These are things I already happen to know, but I wasn't really addressing. Anyway, I pick up this canister. I spend the night at home. It's the most terrible, rough night that I have had yet. I am waking up in the middle of the night. I'm not able to sleep. I have headaches. I'm still in the same condition that I was in. It was horrible. The next day, I wake up. I think I should probably see if I can get in and do some testing because, after all, my doctor did not test me. So I called one of those lab places and order a hemoglobin test because hemoglobin blood and a CBC. A CBC is a complete blood count test. I go there, I do this, they take my blood and go back home and I lay down on the couch. Now, just to put this into perspective, It's already been some time before I actually went to my own doctor to get help. But then I wait a whole nother day to order my own lab tests. It says that I'll probably have those in 48 to 72 hours. About less than 24 hours later, I open up my email, and on the top of the paper, it's all red. Severe, severe, severe. All these tests, all the way down, are severe. It was basically like Monopoly. It's like, do not pass go and go immediately to the hospital. It said that my count was very, very low, and I was suffering from anemia. I get there, go to the emergency room. Now, I'm going to say this. I've never seen anyone move so fast in my life in an emergency room. We walk up there and I said, I think that I'm anemic. And she looks at me and she says, why do you think that? And I slide my paperwork over to her. She immediately picks up the paperwork. She realizes that this test was already done previously to today. And now I'm coming in, which means my levels are even worse than the day that I took the test. She says, do you want a wheelchair? And I thought, no, I can walk. And then, no, they put me in a wheelchair. They wheeled me back. And all of a sudden, it was just crazy. I had doctors, nurses, everyone just on me. Now, I didn't realize how bad it was because once you get to that safety part where you're in the hospital, you have people taking care of you, you kind of just relax. But I didn't realize that what I needed was more than relaxation. I needed a blood transfusion. Radiology had the findings pretty fast and they came in, they said, look, we got to stop this bleeding or you're going to die. Now, a doctor says this to you while you're in the emergency room. You already feel like you could possibly die in the first place, but they say this to you, and I'll tell you what, it wakes you up. It really wakes you up. And he says, look, there's a lot of dangers with blood transfusions. Of course, lots of dangers there. But he explains to me if it was his wife, he would recommend her getting this blood transfusion. He said, I don't know, you might need a pint or two. So I sign it away. I say yes. They get the blood ready, they match it, they call it back and forth. It's kind of like launching a shuttle when this is happening. They're calling up numbers, they're looking at it, and they're verifying my blood type. They're going through this whole thing. It was beautiful. It was incredible. And there I am just laying there. And it takes a few hours for the blood to start, going into your veins when they put you on the IV drip. As I'm there, I'm set up at this monitor and the monitor keeps going off. It's like blue light and siren and it's flashing. And all these people rush in there and they check on me. And I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? And they're looking at me, they're tapping on the screen. They're like, okay, well, maybe there's something wrong here. All of that happens because my blood pressure was not registering me to have a blood pressure. So it thought I was coding out. Now, you're asking right now why? Why was it doing that? I'll tell you why. My blood pressure was 43 over 19. Yes, you heard that right. 43 over 19. Doctors were saying, look, you are so lucky. It's probably because you're fit. Yeah, fit. But probably because you're fit. I mean, other people in your situation could have definitely not made it, which is crazy to me. Now, back to the beginning of my story here. If I would not have gotten a second opinion from just a freestanding place that all they do is testing, lab testing, that's all they do. And I felt in my gut, I needed to listen to my gut because I felt terrible, although my doctor said that I was fine. That didn't mean I was fine. I didn't feel fine. What saved my life is listening to my gut. Your body actually tells you something might be wrong with you or something that you need to address. In my case, my body was giving me headaches. I was getting out of breath. It was awful. The most awful experience I think I've ever gone through in my life. And then realizing how close I was to not making it through just another day. Would I have made it through to my next doctor's appointment? Probably not. Probably not, because this was only the day after I saw my doctor. But doctors are humans too. Yeah. They don't have all the answers. They missed some signs. Maybe she forgot to run the test. Maybe it really wasn't that bad and she didn't think it was that bad. Maybe she thought that I was exaggerating because people come in there and they exaggerate their symptoms all the time. I will say this, by the time I'm going to the doctor, it's because I needed to go like days before, because I will wait that out. I did the same with this. However, when I made that appointment at that testing facility, that appointment saved my life because I listened to my gut. So, the moral of my story here, when your gut is telling you something, it's telling you for a reason. It's saying, hey, your head might not know the answer, even though your head might be thinking logical or analytical. Your gut is giving you a feeling, and that feeling tells you something. That's a warning. If you're in the jungle and you have that feeling like there's a lot of eyes that are watching me in the jungle, trust me, you're right. You have a lot of eyes watching you. Some of them are licking their chops thinking, geez, I could probably have that girl for a snack. What I'm saying is it's a survival mechanism that we have. And our head, sometimes we think that we're doing the right thing, but really it's our gut instincts that help us out tremendously. I tell my story to all women that I can tell my story to, because you might think that it's something like menopause, or you might think that you're just having a heavy period, but it could be much worse. After conversing with many of my friends, they said, you know what? I probably would have died. That's what they told me, because they wouldn't have gotten help. They wouldn't have done that. They would have believed what their doctor said. Now, whether that's true or not, it's easy to say when you're not in that situation. But for me, I can tell you right now, my gut feeling was screaming, you need to get tested. So, what is the lesson today? It's your gut instinct that's going to keep you alive. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys listening. And remember, where you are is where it's at.